I don't know why I cut my hair, because this shadow makes it look like it was exactly the same as it was.
So, yeah. Someone was pointing that out in the comments last week, so I had to take a look.
It's real short.
Yeah. You look like you got, like, Dexter the Dream Hemsley hair going on from the Identical.
Lean forward like this, there's a little bit of an afro. Yeah. Okay.
I like it. To me, I've got a hat on, so it just looks like there's a killer sitting behind me and I can see his shadow. We got out of Deepwater Horizon, and we learned the important lesson of never putting John Malkovich in charge of an oil rig.
Of anything. Never put John Malkovich in charge of anything, except for acting.
Yeah. As soon as he walks on screen, I'm like, oh, well, see, there's your problem.
Yeah.
Right there, right?
You put a fucking movie villain in charge of an oil rig.
Of course this happened.
Yeah.
You weren't much sold on the trailers for this.
No, because the trailers it's kind of the same thing that happened with Lone Survivor for me, which the movie Lone Survivor wasn't bad. I felt it got a little preachy, but it was a good movie.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
I got so fucking burned out on that trailer.
Yeah, I
and
did
the way
too.
they promoted that movie with the interviews of the real guy and stuff. Like, I understand it's based on a real story and shit, but I don't want to know what's going to happen in the, like, even based on it, if I'm not invested in it, like, don't tell me everything.
No, yeah, I got, I remember getting really burned out by that trailer, too, for Lone Survivor, but then Ryan and I went to go see it, and we actually really enjoyed it quite a bit. So I kind of had that mindset going into this one. Like, granted, we weren't quite as bombarded with trailers for this as Lone Survivors.
I get this trailer a lot.
I did too, but to the extent of Lone Survivor, that was like every movie.
Yeah.
Like for what felt like a few months.
Yeah. And this movie, the trailer, like, it started to wear on me a little bit, and it looked like it had some of those Armageddon moments. I will see my family again! Like, that kind of shit. But then in the movie, it's just like, yeah, all those moments are still in the movie, but you realize they're not these long, protracted hero speeches and moments. They're just moments.
Yeah, no, I went into this movie with that mindset, figuring, like, you know what, I'll probably enjoy this movie, because I did like Lone Survivor, even though, like, the ad campaign didn't sell it on me. And the only time Peter Berg really went like Armageddon was Battleship, which was like a contract movie that I think he had to do.
Yeah.
And I really actually enjoyed the fuck out of this movie.
No, this was honestly fantastic.
Yeah.
It was a really great film. I was a little worried in the beginning because there was all these shots of people filling up their gas tanks and gas stations and shit, and I was like, oh, dear God, if this is a pro-oil movie about an exploding oil ship. But it wasn't. It really wasn't.
No, I mean, Peter Berg, between this and his last movie, I mean, he tends to stay on topic pretty well.
Yeah.
Honestly, this is
he didn't politicize it, is really.
No.
I mean, it still would have been on topic, but he didn't politicize it, which was really nice, honestly.
I didn't go into this movie thinking that was going to happen.
I didn't either, but I was a little worried in the first few minutes.
Right.
Just some of the shot choices and stuff, but you know,
in terms of just disaster movies, like this is one of the best I've seen in probably fucking years.
No, in a really long time.
God.
This was and they kept it small. You know, that was the thing. Like, yes, it's a disaster movie, but it's a big boat. It's not the world ending, you know?
No, beyond that, though, like, it doesn't do what you would typically, the tropes you would see in, like, a disaster movie with a lot of effects going on and stuff. It isn't like he finds out his wife is pregnant or something like that and then goes off to the ship, or like, you know, one guy is separated from his wife and like, oh, this is what brings them back together. It doesn't do any of that. Like, yeah, the wife is in the movie because he's got a wife, and at one point, a couple points he's Skyping with her, and that honestly just sets up his character at the beginning of the film. The movie really tells us all we need to know about the characters. it makes them feel like real people and not just kind of disaster movie characters.
Yeah, it had the wife and the daughter in this, but it wasn't. They weren't just like dressing to build the character.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, at the same time, this movie could have existed without those characters being in it, but it didn't, like, you know, it wasn't there just to pull your heartstrings.
It wasn't. It was actually, it was well written enough to where it really kind of pushes the story forward a bit, because like it works in the thing with like his daughter is having like the project she's working on,
taming the dinosaurs.
Yeah, which is basically what the movie uses to explain to the audience what he does.
Yeah.
But it worked. Like, it was a way to incorporate his family life and also really giving us pretty vital information that we need about this movie.
But it also did involve the only shot of the movie that I was just like, really, you got to do that, which was the foreshadowing shot.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that was the only part of the movie where I was like, really? Like, really? Because they're like, I guess in class to show, get an idea of what her dad does to her class, what she's going to do is she takes a can of Coke, turns it upside down, shoves a metal straw into it, and then fills it with honey.
Yeah.
Which, okay. Yeah, I guess that would be a clever way, but then, of course, at the kitchen table with them all sitting there, it erupts. It's just like,
my thing about
really? But 20 minutes more into the movie, you completely forgot that happened.
No, totally. Like, I'm just now thinking about it as you're talking about it. The only thing that threw me off about that shot, because I kind of went really in my head too, but it was more so because they want that foreshadowing in there so the camera lingers on it in a while, which means the characters are just sort of, I guess, standing there watching this happen and not cleaning this shit up.
Like, no one bothers to, like, just put their thumb over it.
Yeah, but if that's the biggest complaint we have in a disaster movie, this movie's really good.
Exactly. No, this was an excellent movie.
When the shit starts in this movie, like, as soon as shit starts blowing up and the oil spills over and everything, like, it doesn't stop. Like, this movie, it does not get old, it does not get boring, it maintains its intensity.
Well, it keeps the pace going.
Yeah.
I won't say, like, okay, there's a build to when shit goes bad, but once shit goes bad, it doesn't do the peaks and valleys thing, and it doesn't, like, skyrocket. It just, it goes, and then it slightly angles up. Like, it's a really nice, steady pace.
It is, because the movie is first and foremost more interested in its characters than it is showing special effects.
Which was great!
Yeah, which was really relieving about this movie.
Obviously, there were some special effects, but but they were used to, like, to good... They were used well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a summertime movie where, like, they're using big special effects to kind of bring in an audience and, we're showing off our new toys with CGI and stuff like that. Like, no, the special effects are in there because, well, that's the kind of movie it is. But it still focuses on all of its characters as this movie is going on. It's still suspenseful as shit, not because we're watching stuff blow up. Not only because we're watching stuff blow up, but because, like, there's these people that we actually really care about in this situation, and we want to see them get the fuck out of this burning-ass oil rig.
They did a... Honestly, I really, besides that one stupid I can't think of anything really wrong with the movie at all.
Well, there was one thing that was kind of wrong, but it's okay. The projector corrected it. There is kind of a corny song that's playing at the ending credits.
The guy in the booth's like, audio out.
The hell is this? Mute, like, the audio for at the end of it, it does what you would think at the end of this. It's showing us real footage of the people, and it's showing, like, pictures of the people who died.
None of whom look like the actors.
No, wow.
They showed, like, the lead guy who Mark Wahlberg plays, and I was just like, why didn't they just get John C. Reilly? Because he looks just like John C. Reilly with a buzz cut.
Yeah, Kurt Russell looks more like his character from Stargate, but aged.
Yeah.
Than he does the guy he's playing. And so there's there's this country song that's playing at the ending credits. I'm like, okay, that's not very good, but all right. And then it just went mute. well, well, that solves that issue, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just part of the movie, though. They only had the rights to use like 40 seconds of this song.
Speaking of rights.
Oh, fuck. Yeah.
Okay, so going in this movie, I was like, all right, Deepwater Horizon, it's the BP spill in the Gulf of Mexico. Mm-hmm. And somehow, not only did they throw out BP a lot.
Yeah.
Like, more than I expected them. Mm-hmm. Like, I was like, they're going to have to mention BP.
Yeah.
But somehow they got the logo rights.
The logo, like, it's on, like, Malkovich and the other BP people's, when they're there, it's the BP logo and everything is, like, on their shirt. Like, I don't know if it makes a difference when you're making a historical film or not.
It's a copyrighted logo.
Yeah, I mean,
if you're making a documentary, you got to get the rights to, like, screen it, you know?
There's some issues where it's different if it's a historical film or something, but I don't know what it is. Ryan would know. Yeah. Like, fuck, he went to school for this. But I was thinking the same thing. I was like, well, I guess the BP is like, why don't let's own up to it, I guess.
No, I mean, it's like, well, we can't deny it. Uh-huh. And if we sued them, we'd look really bad.
If we say no, we also look bad. Fuck it. Yeah. Sure. Like, Lone Survivor was good. Sure. That's the head of BP's a big Peter Berg fan.
Yeah. The head of BP is like, well, Lone Survivor is about a bunch of soldiers that die, but it's not anti-military. So maybe...
So maybe it's a pro-BP. Well, think of all the good things the spill caused. It took care of the shark's jerry curl for months.
Oh, my God.
But anyway... No, I highly recommend...
BP, bringing new meaning to the words fish oil.
See, that's why they said yes to letting them use their logos. Sure. No, I highly recommend this movie, honestly.
No, that was a fun sit, and I really honestly did not expect to... Like, I expected it to be a decent movie. Uh-huh. Because besides Battleship, I don't think Peter Berg makes bad movies. Mm. I didn't expect to honestly enjoy it, though. And I did honestly enjoy this movie.
I enjoyed the hell out of this film. From the acting, from the...
All the acting's great. Yeah. Like, and they did a really good job, like, getting good character actors in the movie. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Ethan Suplee's in this.
I see Ethan Suplee in anything, and part of my brain is always like, I'm at least partially in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
I sat through, I don't know how many seasons of My Name is Earl I sat through just because I liked Ethan Suplee in that show. Yeah. And my roommate at the time loved that show.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I saw most of the first season of that. Really nothing beyond that. It
wasn't terrible. Mm-hmm. It wasn't great either, but... Yeah. it was charming in a way.
Yeah, Jason Lee can get a laugh out of me.
Yeah.
No, for the action is incredibly well edited. Like, this is a very well pieced together film.
Whoever did the sound editing did fantastic.
Oh God,
like, that was, it's not often sound editing sticks out to me in a movie, but this one it really did, because it did that thing where, you know, it's something that happens in action movies a lot now, and disaster movies especially. When things get loud, it gets real quiet. Mm-hmm. But it was used in really good effect in this movie. Mm-hmm. So, like, oh yes, instead of just, like, people being dazed, but it's taking that quiet moment to really, like, focus in on characters' faces and what's happening. Like, it was used to good effect in this.
Yeah, because you can still hear shit going on in the background, even when it's having those, like, Wahlberg and the girl on top at the very end. You can still hear just, like, shit pinging off a glass, metal falling on metal. Just, earlier in the movie, you see, like, just shit fly up towards the glass, almost like someone standing outside of it with a machine gun just shooting inside of it. And you hear that throughout the movie, just whether it's actually going on in the scene we're looking at, or whether it's just somewhere in the background that's still going on.
Yeah.
And this was it was sort of last minute we were seeing it tonight, because originally it was going to be Mrs. Peregrine and Masterminds.
Which we got a trailer for tonight.
Did we?
No, we didn't. Never mind. I'm thinking of something else. We got a trailer for the new Zach Galifianakis.
Oh, Keeping Up with the Joneses, yeah. Not that I wanted to see Masterminds over this movie, but that's just what was originally planned. And but they bumped up the time. Like, Masterminds was at 9:30 and this one was at 10.
I'm glad we went and saw this, honestly.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Like, it's not often I sit here and smile through a whole review.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice feeling.
It's like last week when, like, God, how come Dave hates everything in the comments? A couple comments like, how come Dave hates everything? And I responded and was like, I mostly send him to bad movies. Like, it's not like it's you sitting there and the other person always loves it other than you. It's like, usually the other person with you, like, 9 times out of 10 also doesn't like the movie.
But, 19 times out of 20, it's a terrible movie you send me to, so.
Yeah. What? Dave didn't like Medea Christmas and Batman v Superman and other shit we've seen over the years.
How dare he not just suck it up and say it's good? Fucking hell.
I did like last week where someone said, because we were talking about the original Magnificent Seven, but I'll get to this in a second, but said something like, up next on another episode of Dave Hates the Classics.
I admit as much. There is a certain, like...
I don't like all the classics.
I don't like most of them, but it's but that's just... That's always been the case for me. I understand their classics. I understand their value. I don't judge people for liking them.
I'm the same way.
But, like, I don't like sitting through those fucking movies.
I wouldn't say I hate most of the classics, but there's just plenty that I don't like.
But for me, most of the time, like, they're not terribly well directed or acted or written. Like, some of them are. Like anything Hitchcock made is fucking golden. Like, and there's some other ones too, but for the most part, like, like that era of filmmaking from, the 40s to the early to mid 70s, for the most part, not my bag.
I could think of plenty of stuff from the 60s that I really like.
There's some.
If I'm watching stuff from the 40s or 50s or even earlier than that, more often than not, it's the B movies. Oh,
the B matinee monster movies, though? I love those. But they're not classics.
My God, of course there would be some people just being that guy for no reason, because we were saying the original Magnificent Seven instead of Seven Samurai.
Okay.
The new one is a Western that's called The Magnificent Seven, just like the one it's a remake of. It's not a remake of The Seven Samurai. It's a remake of the other Western called The Magnificent Seven.
That was a remake.
That was a remake of the Seven. That was a remake of The Seven Samurai. This one is a remake of the Yul Brynner Western. My God, sit your snide-ass film school motherfucking condescending ass up. Fuck.
Especially since we talked about the Seven Samurai.
Oh, we did.
Briefly, we talked about the Seven. I mean, we didn't go into great detail, but we briefly talked about it. We acknowledged it. It was like, this isn't fucking film history with Brad and Dave. It's fucking...
But it should be.
These are
the same
There's
people.
The new series, Film History with Brad and Dave, where we just make shit up.
I do that every week on the Cinema Snob.
I know you do.
Those are the same people who were bitching when we reviewed that Thing prequel, and when we were talking about the original. Of course, we're referring to the John Carpenter one, because that's what it's a prequel to, not the Thing from Another World. Fuck off with that being that guy shit.
Oh. Well, and it's just... Personally, I'm a little sick of remakes right now, but that seems like a quarter of the big movies we get every year now are remakes. But I will say that sometimes remakes are better than the originals. It's rare, but sometimes it's the case.
Sometimes it happens. John Carpenter's The Thing is better.
No shit.
Is better than Thing from Another World. This movie.
Back on topic, yeah.
This movie is a better remake than.
Yeah.
I can't even think of another oil movie off the top of my head.
Armageddon.
Armageddon. This movie, it's a remake of Armageddon, and it's so much better. This is what they did before they went to the asteroid. It's way better acted and much more compelling. Better directed, too.
How hilarious would this movie have been if they had used the cast from Armageddon?
Oh, so
Just
good.
to give Michael Bay the finger?
Yeah.
I mean, the cast in this was great, but you could easily see, like, Affleck in the...
Bruce Willis, Affleck, Fichtner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Billy Bob Thornton would be the Malkovich role. I just stopped myself and think for a second. I was like, wait, was Malkovich in Armageddon? Like, no, okay. I don't think he was.
Belushi is Ethan Suplee. It'd have been great.
Yeah. All right. I don't know if I'm going to end up seeing Masterminds or not. Maybe if I have time. But next week, I think is Girl on the Train. And
now we're starting Oscar season, aren't we? Well, this was probably the start of Oscar season, or at least
maybe
the people bidding for Oscars. Yeah,
this will get some like sound nominations.
No, yeah, as it should, and maybe special effects, because I'll say like you know, there was a lot of fire in this, and there was a lot of special effects, but they didn't feel like overt special effects most of the time.
No.
Yeah, so. But there is a Star Wars movie coming out, so special effects is probably cinched up.
Maybe. I mean, Ex Machina won it last year.
That's true.
But yeah, we'll be. But what the fuck comes out next week? See ya.
Bye, kids.